Shibane Beisamikdash Merabe Yameinu B'Sein Chalkeinu B'Sein Rasecho Shibane Beisamikdash Merabe Yameinu B'Sein Chalkeinu B'Sein Rasecho Shibane Beisamikdash Merabe Yameinu B'Sein Chalkeinu B'Sein Rasecho Shibane Beisamikdash Yameinu Chalkeinu B'Sein Rasecho Shibane Beisamikdash Merabe Yameinu Chalkeinu B'Sein Rasecho Shibane Beisamikdash Merabe Yameinu Chalkeinu B'Sein Rasecho. Where did you say we stopped?
Well, Tuesday, we stopped at 179.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't here.
Yeah. Wednesday there wasn't a share.
I wasn't here Thursday.
You remember where we stopped on Thursday? Okay, so so he was explaining. We're gonna start at the bottom of 179. Reb Shlomo is saying, what about? You see, like the sort of like a third, it's a bit more than halfway down. A lot of people are married. What's missing in their marriage? The point. There's a lot of parents, but where's the point is missing. The point of connection, the point of what it's all about. Nachman says an amazing, deepest teaching in the world. There's a point above. There's the point below. When am I most conscious of my point above? Right? Usually we're connected to our point below, meaning to say our lives as we're living them in this world. We're pretty aware of what's going on. But our point above, our connection to Lamala, we're not very often aware of it. So he says, when are we aware of it most of all? When am I connected to it? When my point above is not connected with my point below. That's when I feel it. Page 180. What happens when we do a transgression? Heaven forfend. The 2 points are getting separated. The point above and the point below are getting separated. Maybe here in this world I'm still organized, and my lower point is functioning. But this is the whole point, that it's not really functioning properly. It looks like it's functioning, but it's not. Galuti. Okay, so that needs to be explained. What does it mean that it's not functioning? It seems to be functioning, right? What's the that it's not? So it says Reb Shlomo, Galuti kishanekudah eliyona sheli v'anekudah tachtona sheli einan yachad. Exile is that when my supernal point and my lower point are not together. They're not one. Gevalt ani karua, I'm Amish torn. Gevalt ani karua l'gzarim, I'm torn to pieces. Ma kol hatzadikim asu ba'olam. What were all the tzaddikim doing for the world? Ma him ratzu lasot. What was their purpose, their objective? They wanted to connect the lower point with the supernal point. If we would be connected with the supernal point, halavai, if only that would be. But even though we may not be very connected, still there are moments that we are connected. If we wouldn't have those moments, we wouldn't be able to exist. The mashal. For some people, maybe when you were standing under the chuppah, you felt connected to your supernal point, right? So, or let's say when something like, like something really important, somebody had a refuah shalema, and somebody, you davened for something, and it came to be.
No, I'm saying, when I do a Masih Chesed, I do an act of kindness, or see someone else do an act of kindness.
You feel connected.
Even if he says someone else who I don't know, do an act of kindness, someone who I don't know, and I feel connected.
You feel connected. So there are moments that we feel connected, right?
Or you're in shul. For instance, Friday night, when the Chazan says Kabbalah Shabbos the Carlebach way, I feel very connected. And the whole Olam does too.
Right. Mm-hmm.
How do you know that?
Because I look around. I'm a people watcher. I tend to look around at people, and it's a young crowd, and they close their eyes, they hold their hands up. I mean, I'm very connected with them.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. That's an amazing one of the most amazing things about Reb Shlomo is that do you remember what Kabbalah Shabbos used to be like before Carlebach Nosach? You'd come to shul, get through it as quickly as you can, maybe sing a little bit for L'Chadoidi if the Chazan was really good, and if not, you just talk. We do, talk, not talk, whatever it was. Okay. Okay, we're going home, let's make Kiddush, sing Shalom Aleichem, make Kiddush, and sit down and eat, right? But now, hundreds of shuls across the world, and thousands of Yidden across the world are davening Kabbalah Shabbos completely differently than before. They're davening with Kabbalah. There was a Haredi family on a tour here from the Lower East Side just a couple of weeks ago. They came into the house, and this young man tells me that he never done Kabbalah Shabbos with Kabbalah the way he does now. It's a fact. Before it was Moshe right? Now it's Moshe now you got to watch this, the people saying El Hashem. Right? I'm sure that everybody has to run at that point thinking that they're calling God to Hashem.
At one Shabbos, only happened one, when it came to that, there were a number of Kohanim and Levim there.
Yeah.
So the Baal Tefillah stopped.
Yeah.
And the Kohanim said that.
Oh, yeah.
And the Levim said that, the second time, and a few of these trips, it was Gemaldik.
Yeah, nice. So he says, okay, so we Baruch Hashem have some moments that we are connected, and if we wouldn't have at all, we wouldn't be able to live. אני רוצה שתדעו, כשאני מרגיש את החזק, אני לוקח אספירין ואני לא מרגיש את הכאב. So when I feel this pain of the gap, or of the disconnect, so what do? He's just talking in a parable here. So I take an aspirin and I don't feel the pain. מתי אני מרגיש אותה חזק? And when do I feel the pain the most? אבל אני לא יכול לקחת כדורים נגד כאבים, and I'm not able to take pills against the pain. When is that? On Tisha B'Av, right? We feel the pain of not being connected, and we can't take any painkillers. פעם בשנה השם לוקח ממני את כל הכדורים נגד כאבים. Once a year, Hashem is taking away all my painkillers. כל אותם סמים, all those drugs, שאני לוקח במשך כל השנה, which I take all year long, כדי לא להרגיש את הכאב, in order not to feel the pain, תשעה באב Hashem takes it away. כל העולם הוא כדורים נגד כאבים. Right? So this is what he's been saying, is that when do I feel the pain? When I'm not connected, right? That's when I feel the pain of the disconnection. So generally, he says, Kol ha'olam hu kadurim neged kevim. The whole life in this world is basically all painkillers. You're not so happy, okay, you have an ice cream. It's a painkiller. Take a piece of cake, entertainment, the news, all these things. It's like, it's all, just a way to get through the pain of not being connected. אני שבור, כי אני לא מחובר עם הנקודה העליונה שלי. I'm broken because I'm not connected with my supernal point. So what do I do? ולכן אני רץ לדיסקוטק לעשות חיים. So I went to the disco to have a good time. אני רוקד קצת, נכנס לשם, יוצא משם. I dance a little bit, I go in, I go out, ושוב נכנס לשם, then I go back again. אני מרוויח דולרים, I'm making some money, התמונה שלי בעיתון, my pictures in the paper, הכל סמים, is all drugs not to feel the pain.
That's very true.
אני רוצה שתדעו, page 181, I want you to know, בתשעה באב, פעם אחת בשנה, השם ברוב רחמיו מוציא מאיתנו את כל הסמים. So Hashem, in His compassion, takes away all these drugs, all these painkillers from us on Tisha B'Av. גבלת אני מרגיש את הנקודה העליונה, גבלת זה כואב. And what happens is that the Amish feel this supernal point on Tisha B'Av, and wow, it really hurts. גבלת אני מרגיש את זה. I really feel it because I don't have any painkillers. כעת, so now, פתחו את שערי הלב ותנו לי אנרגיה טובה, open your hearts and give me some good energy. חברים, מה קרה כשמשה רבנו ירד מהר סיני וראה את מעשי העגל? What happened when Moshe Rabbeinu came down from Mount Sinai and he saw we had made the golden calf? מה הוא עשה? What did he do? And he said, שתפתחו את מעמקי הלב, I want you to open the depths of your heart בצורה עמוקה ביותר in the deepest way possible. משה רבנו שבר את הלוחות, והאותיות פרחו באוויר. So Moshe Rabbeinu broke the luchot, and the letters were flying in the air. But that's a medrash. So what happened? Ma pirush, what does that mean? Moshe Rabbeinu horit hala. Moshe Rabbeinu brought the Torah down from above to below. Pitom bein hamala v'lamata nechrav legamri, and all of a sudden the connection from above to below was completely destroyed. Ma kara achar kach, what happened afterwards? Lema davar domeh, what is this similar to? Ani moed ohev et Shprinze. Reb Shlomo always used to use the name Shprinze because the chances are that there was nobody in the crowd that had the name Shprinze. So that's why he likes to use the name Shprinze. So he says, Ani moed ohev et Shprinze, ki mamash bat hazug sheli. I imagine, like, I love this girl, Shprinze, she's my soulmate, אנחנו מחוברים למעלה ולמטה, we're connected above and below, והכל טוב, everything is good. ואני כותב לה מכתב אהבה, and I send her a love letter. כמה עמוקים מכתבי האהבה האלה? How deep are these love letters? נחמדים, they're sweet. But כלום. There's nothing. Why? כן. הם נחמדים, yes, they're sweet, אבל אין על מה לדבר, it's nothing really to talk about. ואז, and then, משהו קרה בינינו, פתאום נפרדנו, and then something happened between us, and we separated. וכעת, פיתחו את שערי הלב, so I'm asking you to open the gates of your heart right now. כל לילה אחרי חצות, every night after midnight, אני יושב וכותב לה מכתבי אהבה. I sit down and I write her love letters. גבלת הם עמוקים. These letters are mamish deep. Right? גבלת הם עמוקים. כל כך עמוקים. These letters are mamish deep. אני רוצה שתדעו, I want you to know, על הנקודה concerning the point. בעולם הזה, מעולם לא ידעתי עד כמה אני צריך את החיבור עם הלמעלה. In this world, I never knew how much I need to have my connection with above. כי כשאני מחובר, אני חושב שזה נחמד. Because when I am connected, I think, oh, that's sweet. You know, we had a good davening, we had a good Shabbos meal, we had a good this. You know, it's sweet, right? So that's what happens when you know, that's how it is, right? That when we're not connected. In other words, I don't realize how important it is. It's, you know, it happens once in a while. It's really sweet. אני רוצה שתדעו, page 182, ישנם זמנים שאני רוצה לדעת את הנקודה העליונה. There are times that I want to know the supernal point, and I want to know, ואני רוצה לדעת את הנקודה התחתונה, and I want to know the point here below. בתשעה באב אני רוצה יותר, בתשעה באב אני רוצה הרבה יותר. I want a lot more on Tisha B'Av. In other words, I want a lot more than just a nice 2-3 minutes connection. Right? אתם יודעים מה אני מחפש? You know what I'm looking for on Tisha B'Av? אני מחפש קשר שאי אפשר להפסיק אותו. What I'm looking for is a connection that you cannot undo. כי הרי אם זה למעלה או למטה, זה כבר שניים. Because if there's a point above and a point below, so then there's already 2 points. יותר אני לא רוצה שניים. I want 2 and more. היום ההוא יהיה השם אחד ושמו אחד. I want it all to be one. אם אני מחובר עם הנקודה העליונה, so if I'm connected with a supernal point, אני רואה כל אדם so then I see every other person also as being connected with the supernal point. ואני לא יכול לומר משהו רע על אף אדם. Then I can't say anything bad about anybody. Right? A couple of weeks ago in Pashas Balak, Bilam says, "Lo hibid oven b'Yakov, v'lo yira'o amo b'Yisrael, ki Hashem Elokav imay." So the rabbis explained there that when you're with Hashem, you don't see bad in a fellow Yid. Right? So he says that right. Again, the beginning of that paragraph. If I'm connected with the supernal point, I see every other person also as being connected with that supernal point. And then I can't say anything bad about anybody because I'm focused on seeing their connection. Because even if here below in this world, this guy is not functioning very, I still can smell his higher self, his higher being. But if I'm not connected to the supernal point, when I look at people, other people just on the below level, אני אומר שthen I say, אתה בסדר, אתה לא בסדר, אתה חוטא ואתה וכולי וכולי, כל השפיטה הזאת. And when I'm not connected on the supernal point, meaning to say I'm not connected with my neshama, and therefore I'm not connected with your neshama. So I'm just operating on this lower point. So then I say, ta beseder, this guy is lo beseder, that one is more beseder, right? In other words, what am I doing? I'm just constantly judging. I'm judging everybody.
That's what the word shvita means?
Shvita.
Shofet is judge.
Shvita is judging.
So kol hashvita hazot means all of this judgmentalism, something like that.
Yeah. Rabbi Nachman Omer, so Rabbi Nachman says, Beit HaMikdash היא הנקודה העליונה של כל עם ישראל. The Beit HaMikdash is the supernal point of connection for all of Israel. Beit HaMikdash הוא הקשר שלי עם שמיים. The Beit HaMikdash is my connection with heaven. Gewalt זה העמוק, this is such a deep thing. You hear that? You know, a lot of people go to the Beis HaMikdash and right away, as soon as they come there, they feel a very deep connection. And then there's a lot of people that don't, right? There's a lot of people that don't feel a connection.
Who goes to Beis HaMikdash nowadays?
I mean, to the Kotel. Right?
Yeah, it's true.
Sometimes you feel it, sometimes you just don't feel anything, right?
Yeah.
So he's saying the Beis HaMikdash is our connection point with heaven. What happens to me when I'm standing by the holy Kotel, by the Western Wall? Maybe I'll never be totally organized in this world. But what I'm experiencing at the Kotel is that I'm connected with the above. Yehudi is coming from the other end of the world. And he's standing by the Kotel. Maybe his lower point is not so well arranged. Maybe he's not connecting the supernal point so well with the lower point. But one thing he does taste. He's tasting that there's something inside of him that is connected with the above. So you remember the story? Reb Shlomo tells his son the Nachmu recording. Reb Shlomo tells a story about this rabbi from New York. He gets onto one of the first planes coming to Israel after the 6-Day War. And he's so excited, he can't wait to get to the Kotel. So mamish, like the next morning, he leaves the hotel and he's going to the Kotel. And as he's getting closer to the Kotel, there are more and more schnorrers asking him for money. And he's giving them, he's got shliach mitzvah, whatever it is, he's giving them money, but some of them are like a little bit brazen, They see green dollars or something like that, right? And they start asking, give me more, give me more, give me more. And he's just like, he's giving and he's getting closer to the Kotel, but it's beginning to get under his skin. It's getting under his skin about the brazenness and so on. the seemingly lack of appreciation. Finally, he's at the Kotel. He's given his tzedakah money away. And he put on his talis, and he's just about to put on his tefillin, and all of a sudden there's another hand right in front of his face. And now he loses it. He gets so angry, he starts screaming, "What's going on here? Can't you let a yid daven for a couple of minutes?" And he screams at the guy, and the poor man is embarrassed, and he runs away. Well, you can imagine this poor rabbi, he thought that when he comes to the Kotel and that his davening is going to be the highest davening ever in his life. But what happened? It was the worst. Because how could you daven if you just screamed at a poor person, publicly, and the guy runs away feeling embarrassed and so on? What kind of davening do you think Hashem is going to allow you to have? So he's mamish broken. He's broken. Here was his dream, right? His dream was that this is going to be something great, and lo and behold, it's the worst. So he says, Rabbeinu Shalom, if my coming to the Kotel means anything to you, I'm begging you that you should allow me to see this poor man again. Anyway, he's mamish broken, and he's coming every day to daven Shachris and Mincha. He canceled all his tourist plans. He's not going anywhere. He's just staying in the Yerushalayim. He's going to the Kotel every day, twice a day, and he's giving tzedakah, and he's looking for this poor man. And mamish, he can't find him. It's already the morning of the day that he's going back to America, and he is beside himself. And he's sitting there and he's crying at the Kotel, feeling that Hashem is not giving him the opportunity to make amends. Anyway, he's there from the first minyan in the morning to the last minyan of the morning, and it's a hot day, it's summertime already, and there's nobody else left at the Kotel. And he has a few hours till he has to go to the airplane. So he gets on a bus. Like there's only so much you can cry. He gets on the bus and he's looking around and figured he'll go into Meir Shavim, maybe buy some sforim. Gets on the bus and he's looking around, and behind him is this yid. Takes out $100 bill. And you okay there? Yeah. Takes out $100 bill, and he turns around and he says, "Reb Yid, I'm so sorry, I insulted you last time. Please take this." And the Yid looks at him and he says, "What's the matter with you?" He says, what's with you? He says, "Are you crazy or something? I wasn't putting my hand out to ask you for money. I was putting my hand out to say Shalom Aleichem to you. And you got so you berserk, and I think goodbye, and I walked away from you." He says, "Don't you remember me? I'm Moshe Lecom from the East Side. We used to go to school together." And the rabbi is like, "What?" He says, "Yeah, Moshe Lecom. We used to go to Cheder together until grade 1, 2, and 3. And then we moved away." And all of a sudden, the rabbi remembered that his father, before he died, he said to him, "Listen, back at the time of the what was it called? The market crash. What was it called? The
Depression.
The depression. And the market crashed and everybody was going bankrupt. So I had a little business and I went bankrupt. And the father of this Moshe Lecom gave me a loan of $3,000, which was a lot of money, and he put me back on my feet. And then he died a young man, and the widow and the orphans, they left town, and I was never able to trace connection with them again. So if you ever meet one of this Mr. Cohn's children, please pay back my debt. So the rabbi is like, whoa, So what happens? He realizes he came all the way to the Kotel, and Hashem arranged that he should be able to pay up his father's debt, right? And he nearly messed it up completely. So there's a lot of meaning to this story, right? One of them, to me, is the following. Going to the Kotel, going to the last remaining wall that we have from the Beis Hamikdash is very special. The fact that I don't feel it could be as a result of many different things. It could be the way I said good morning to someone, or rather the poor way that I said good morning to someone, or having insulted somebody, or not having given tzedakah when I should have, or something like that. But just getting to the Kotel, like for example, coming from Chutz La'aretz and getting to the Kotel, you might have imagination that, oh, it's going to be so wonderful, right? But it's entirely possible that all that you did in Chutz La'aretz to come to the Kotel, it was just enough to pay your bill, so to speak, to be able to actually come to the Kotel. But once you're at the Kotel, you now have work to do. It's to make it special. You know what I mean? In other words, you buy the tickets, you got here, but it doesn't mean that you're already entitled to anything beyond here. You got a ticket and it got you here. You spend your life learning Torah and doing mitzvahs and chutzlars and so on, and it got you here. But now you have to be, now that you're being tested again, how much do you mean it, and so on and so on. That's okay. Okay? So that's what he's saying over here, is that he says that a Yid is coming to the Kotel, and maybe he's not connected between the 2 points above and below, but he does feel that there's something inside him that is connected. Okay? This last sentence on 182. There's one thing that he does taste. He tastes that there's something deep inside him that is connected with the Lamaila, with the above.
I connected with the Kotel once.
Okay,
good. It was the first time.
Baruch Hashem.
I connected with Sarah that day. I've never been this before. It's 20 years.
Baruch Hashem. Yeah.
And I went by myself. I finished the program. That was it. All the things I had to do. I was not free. It was late at night. I found my way there. I'd never been in the old city before. It was 1968. And I found my way to the Kotel. In those days, the Kotel Plaza was much bigger than it had been until 67, but it was much smaller than it is today. There was no machitza. It was about 11:45 at night, midnight. Just a few chassidim there.
Okay.
And I remember I touched the stones, I kissed the Kotel, and I closed my eyes, and I felt my feet were all the way down at the bottom of the earth, and my head was up in heaven. I was in the presence of every Jew that ever lived from Avram Avinu till the days of Mashiach.
Unbelievable! Wow.
And I couldn't move. I was rooted. I felt I was there with Hashem and all of Am Yisrael. It almost felt like an out-of-body experience. And the closest thing I can say that describes it would be a powerful orgasm. It wasn't sexual, but it was very, very powerful. I never had that.
How long did it last?
Seems to last a long time.
Wow. You're a very special, lucky man to have experienced that. Very nice. Okay, so one thing that even if you don't feel mamish connected, right? But you do feel at least there's an awareness that there's something in you that is connected. In other words, the fact that it bothers you that you're not feeling so connected, that's because you do have a taste that there is an nekuda that's inside you. If you wouldn't have that nekuda, you wouldn't feel that way. Right? So it says, Gewalt Za'amok, page 183. This is so deep. Za'amok. Shabbat motzi'im sefer Torah menichim oto al shulchan v'korim. Shabbos we take out a sefer Torah, we put it on the table and we read. Lachar miken lochim et sefer Torah mirimim oto. Then we pick up the sefer Torah, we do hagbeh. Ma nachtem besen omrim zeh lazeh. What are we basically telling each other by doing that? V'chi hachelek hachashuv biyoter shel haTorah hu hamilim shekaranu. Is the most important part of the Torah, is it the words that we read? החלק החשוב ביותר הוא עצם זה שהתורה מקשרת אותנו עם הלמעלה. The essence of the importance, the most important point of the Sefer Torah is that it's connecting us with the above. Right? Hagbeh is so important, and in fact, in Shulchan Aruch, right, what's a bigger honor?
That's the biggest.
To get Hagbeh or to get an Aliyah? The biggest honor is to get Hagbeh, right? So why? Why is that the biggest honor that you're getting Hagbeh? Did you ever wonder about that? Did you ever figure that out? Did you ever have a reason for that? Did you ever able to explain that?
The first I've heard of it.
Yeah.
That's just a few.
Yeah, okay, but you're picking it up. But why is that? Like, you're not making a bracha, you're not doing anything like that, right? So Reb Shlomo is explaining that Hagbeh is like you're picking up the whole Torah, but what you're basically saying to everybody is the whole point of the Hagbeh, not you, but the whole point of the Hagbeh is that it's with the Torah that we have the connection with Hashem. That's what it's about.
And that's why we say V'zor
Torah asher tziva lanu Moshe Moirosho Kehilas Yaakov. Moirosho, says the Gemara.
Why do we point the finger?
Some do, some don't. Chabad doesn't.
And why the small finger? Why not the index finger?
Some people say that.
So Moirosho Kehilas Yaakov. So the Gemara says, Al tikri Moirosho. Don't read just Moirosho, an inheritance. Also read it, you remember? Me'oirasa, marriage, right? Me'oirasa Kehilas Yaakov, with the Torah that we're married, is our connection with the Kodesh Baruch Hu, right? So Gewalt Torah mikasheret otanu lamala, because the whole point is that the Torah is mamish connecting us with the above. Okay, so if during these 3 weeks we're feeling a little bit about the destruction of the Beis Hamikdash, thank God that you feel it. Thank God that you feel it. Now, earlier, a few pages earlier, he said from Rav Nachman that the fact that the Beit HaMikdash is still not rebuilt is that basically that means that Hashem is showing us that we're still a mess. Right? We're still a mess, and that's why it's not been rebuilt yet. And you see, you see what's going on now, without talking politics. This whole thing with UNESCO, right? That the Morris and Machpelah is a Palestinian site. That they want to pass a resolution that the Jews have no connection with the Beis Hamikdash, right? Of course, on a certain level, it's nonsense, the whole thing. But it's what's being talked about in the world, right? What's the point of it? The point is that it's to arouse us to think about, am I connected or am I not connected? Right? So sometimes you need somebody to tell you that you're not connected in order to awaken you to realize your connection. Right? Sometimes, how should we say, you're coming home late at night and you don't have the key to get back into the house, right? And every day, you walk into your house, you take a drink, you go to bed, you go right? But when do you feel your connection the most to your house? That night when you can't open the door. Boy, do you miss it, right? So we should realize, just from the fact that the Beis Hamikdash is not rebuilt, we should realize how much we're not connected yet, and we much need to be connected. And unfortunately, but hopefully we'll take the lesson, is that now we have the world screaming, saying that you're not connected, and you better wake up and say, yes, I am connected, and I really want to be connected. Okay, so I'll just tell you, we'll continue Mr. Shem tomorrow.